Hi everybody, I'm Frank O'Brien and welcome to robertfranciswine.ie. Today, in the latest episode of robertfranciswine.ie, I'm about to start a very interesting series of videos. So all you people who are fans of robertfranciswine.ie need to listen up, because I'm about to review 3 wines from Aldi in 3 separate videos. We're starting with a white. I have 2 reds to follow after this, but kind of starting, as everybody keeps talking about recession and doom and gloom, focusing on some really interesting value wines. This white today, which is a Macon Village from Burgundy in France, is $8.99 a bottle, which is pretty incredible prices. I mean, when you consider the amount of tax and so on wines, generally a wine that retails for about 10, 11 euros, the actual wine juice, once you get down to it, is about 50 cents, 75 cents. So hopefully, I've never had this wine before, I don't know anything about it, so hopefully it brings some of the apple, honey and acacia flower aromas that it talks about on the back here, but we'll see. Obviously, with Christmas coming up, Chardonnay is the obvious play for chicken and turkey, and the apple fruit flavors really do go down well, and some of the more melon stone fruit flavors that you get from New World Chardonnay as well go down. Even oak Chardonnays as well are a good idea at Christmas time. So what we have here is the Macon Village Henry de l'Orgerie. My apologies, Henry, if I have pronounced your name wrong. So this is the 2007 Vin de Bourgogne from Aldi, $8.99 a bottle. So let's get straight into the wine. For those of you who aren't familiar with Burgundy, there are 2 predominantly white wine areas within Burgundy. You have the Côte d'Or, where you hear of all of these really fantastic Meursaults and Pelougny, Montrachet and so on coming from. And then under that you have the more value-driven wine area of Macon Village. Now, there's Macon Village, and then you have kind of Macon Lucchese and other areas where it comes after. But the Macon Village is the entry level in the white region of Burgundy, that is Macon. So let's have a look straight away at the Chardonnay. As you can see, there's kind of a nice straw color to the wine here. Really is nice color. And there's some decent aromas. Now this wine is being served at room temperature here, because I didn't want to chill it and cover up any of the flaws that might be in it. So whatever I say about the wine, if you give it a good chilling, that will kind of cover over some of the flaws as well. And if you're having a dinner party and you're a bit concerned about the wine, or you've bought some cheap wine, goat's cheese normally covers the palate pretty well. So if you want to hide anything, as I always say, if you're tasting wine or buying wine, eating plain crackers, car water crackers, or even apple sometimes, just to cleanse the palate and clean it straight out, because if it can stand up to the acidity of a piece of apple, then you'll know very well whether it's a good or bad wine. So let's get straight into it. Yeah, and there's some definite apple and floral notes to this wine, like the back said. Floral notes are pretty more forward, or much more dominant than the apple. But it's not a bad nose. $8.99 a bottle, it definitely doesn't come across as cheap. Nice color, nice nose. Let's have a look at the wine. And this isn't bad on the palate either. There's some sour apple and definitely some floral notes, but it's well balanced. It doesn't have a big hit of alcohol or anything on the finish. It's not sharp, it's not bitter. There's no oak, as would be customary in Macon Village, or in Macon. Pretty solid, medium bodied Macon Village with good acidity. Not a huge degree of minerality or anything, or that you would get if you went up to say Chablis or somewhere, but still a pretty inoffensive, solid Macon Village. And at $88.99 a bottle, it's pretty good actually. I'd have to kind of score it kind of 86 points. And I know 86 doesn't sound like a huge score, but you have to remember anything over 80 is average or above. So 86 is a pretty solid score for something in the $8.99 bracket. I definitely recommend. I definitely recommend it. I think if you're looking for one for a party or one for Christmas and you've got a lot of people to feed, this one would certainly go down well with salads, with shellfish, with particularly some goat's cheese, but that's not to cover up the flaws in the wine. Yeah, very nice, very good effort. So, Macon Village, Henry de Lorgier, from Aldi, $8.99, 86 points. Pretty good. Okay, so that's the end of this episode, and we'll see you next time on robertfranciswine.ie.